I was disappointed. We turned back from lower camp 2. I already had started, little bit doubting myself. I sold my bike. It was a KTM Duke 390. Again, no summit. There was no camp 3. So which is significantly more difficult. I can say that it wasn't a very wise decision to go to such a serious mountain. And now I also think arrogance would have set in myself. It may have been a big disaster or a big accident. Ama wanted to tell me, go back, do your homework, train more, have some technical experience under your belt, and then come back to me.
Are you the one who will complain, or are you the one who will fight back and become the hero of your own life? Meet my friend, someone who shaped his body, mind and future. 3 failed attempts. Manaslu turned back from Camp 3. Nun, summit slipped away. Ama Dablam, brutal weather conditions. Every time the mountain says, not yet. Most would have given up. He didn't. He went back, trained harder, studied every mistake and waited for his moment. And on 21st September 2024, morning 6:45 am, he finally stood on top of the mountain. From struggling with weight to sculpting himself into a bodybuilder, from disappointment to one of the toughest summits of the world, this is a story of patience, grit, and the climb that finally happened. Today he is here to share that moment. Welcome to another exciting podcast on my show Stories with Venky with my friend Surjo Chaudhary. Enjoy the show. Hi Surjo, how are you?
Hi, good evening, sir. How are you?
I am good. Just going on. What about you?
I'm good. Very happy and relieved that after 3 failed attempts and having no summits, so finally I got a summit after 3 years in October last year. So relieved. More than happy, I'm relieved. So,
Yeah, congratulations first.
thank
For
you. Thank you so much.
I am also waiting for that photograph, that particular photograph from the top of that mountain. So finally I saw it and I
Yeah,
felt really happy. The last time when we spoke, you just came from Manaslu and
Manaslu. And it,
2022, it was a big avalanche story. After that, you went to Kun also. Sorry,
none. Yes.
Nun. And that also went uh,
No summit.
no summit. You
Yeah.
came back from the middle.
Yes.
So what what was your thought process at that point of time?
I was disappointed, but we had to turn back because of things which weren't in our control. So I was okay. I could live with that because the weather was bad and it was not because of my body not adapting to the altitude and no AMS, nothing. So whether as you know, you yourself climb mountains, sir, those things are not in our control. And it is always a good decision, I think, to listen and take action according to the weather. So we turned back from lower camp 2 in noon, and I was with boots and crampons, Bharat sir. But happy, all in all, it was a great experience. We had some amazing guides with us. Rexin sir was there, Nim Dorji was there, 2 of the best guides in India. So, but I learned a lot. And this is not to say this is not something which I'm just saying. I believe that failures teach you a lot more than successes do. So I learned a lot in these 3 expeditions, and then finally I got a taste of summit this past October. So very happy.
3 summits, it's a lot of money. And did you ever thought that I might stop mountaineering or something like that?
Correct. So I wouldn't disagree. Had this, I already had started, little bit doubting myself. Self-doubt had started slowly creeping in, and I don't know if I had failed again in Ama Dablam, I don't know what would have happened. But again, yes, arranging the money is a big challenge, And for Manaslu, I had crowdfunded, and I raised a significant amount of money, but I couldn't summit. I turned back from Camp 3, so I was a little bit disappointed with myself that I couldn't give back all those well wishers a summit. So that is why I planned and I promised myself that I won't crowdfund unless I get a summit from my own money. So not a lot of people know this, but for known, I sold my bike. The bike which I had bought with my own hard-earned money. It was a KTM Duke 390. So I sold it, and the proceeds went to the known expedition, and that is how known happened. And then again no summit. So I was disappointed and thinking what to do next. And climbing in Nepal is significantly more expensive. So I was looking to climb in India again to have a summit first. But then again, one day out of the blue, Lakpadai called me from Nepal. He asked me to join his autumn Ama Dablam group. So all thanks to Lakpadai and my Sherpa guide Saila, because of whom this was possible. So yeah, now I'm relieved, and now I haven't decided anything about my next step or next expedition, but now, I can stand in front of the mirror, and then maybe I can again think about crowdfunding, because I have a summit, and that self-doubt has gone now.
Did you enjoy the moment on the top of the
Absolutely.
summit?
Totally. I think we spent around half an hour on top. We were the second, duo to summit. There was another one client, one Western client, and one Sherpa guide. They were before us, and then we went there, and the weather was amazing. So we spent half an hour there. And the first thing I did after reaching the summit was I video called my wife. I FaceTimed her from the top of Ama Dablam, and that was amazing. That feeling was amazing. That'll stay with me forever. So yeah, very happy with everything. The weather was completely on our side. 21st October, we summited, but the summit push was on 20th October, early in the morning, around 2:33. So it was zero winds, absolutely zero winds, perfect summit night. So, and another, I would just like to add here, in 2020, we pushed for our summit from Camp 2. There was no Camp 3. So which is significantly more difficult. And this time we had Camp 3, which makes it significantly easier to push for the summit. So I was pretty much confident that if I could make it to Camp 3, the summit is almost guaranteed, if the weather permits. So, and that's how it went.
The mountain decides, right?
Absolutely.
You believe it?
Yes. Totally. I totally believe it, sir. I think Ama wanted me to come back to her again, because the actual plan was in 2020 to do BMC from Nimas in July, August, and then go for Ama Dablam. But then COVID happened and they had to postpone their batch. But I had invested so much in my physical conditioning for the past 1 year that I decided to go for Ama Dablam anyways. And I couldn't summit. And now, in hindsight, I can say that it wasn't a very wise decision to go to such a serious mountain without any BMC or without any experience under my belt. And now I also think, had I submitted Ama Dablam in 2020, maybe some arrogance would have set in myself. Okay, now I attempted Island Peak summit without any experience, Ama Dablam summit without any experience or without any technical knowledge. Then maybe in my third mountain, it may have been a big disaster or a big accident. So I look at in that way, that Ama wanted to tell me, go back, do your homework, train more, have some technical experience under your belt, and then come back to me. And that is why I did BMC in 2021, right after Ama Dablam.
So what is the approach route here for Ama Dablam? From which side of the mountain is the climbing route planned?
I think that is the southwest ridge of the mountain. That is the commercial route. And the approach trek is similar to that of EBC. The trek is exactly the same up until Pangboche. And after Pangboche, we take a right turn, drop down a little, cross a bridge. There's a small bridge, and then we rise. We continue gaining height until we reach Ama Dablam base camp, which is around 4,700, 4,800 meters. So it is exactly on the same path as that of Everest base camp. So beautiful, to say the least.
Heaven on earth, it's called, na.
Absolutely, sir.
And
EBC is, I think,
after that, the is it technical? How the gradient level, the climbing gradient, is it difficult?
from base camp, the base camp is first of all a very beautiful place, very luxurious, very comfortable. It's a flat land,
Yeah.
very wide area, and there's a small stream as well. So people also play volleyball there. It's a very comfortable place, the base camp. And from base camp to camp one, nothing technical, but the last portion they have ropes fixed because it is pretty steep and there are big granite slabs. So there's a risk of slipping and losing some altitude, and maybe you can injure yourself. So we can anchor ourselves to the ropes and then keep climbing. So till camp one it is nothing, just slogging your way all the way up, no technicalities. But post camp one it is completely technical, and you always have to be clipped onto the rope with your safety carabiner from camp one to the summit and then back to camp one. It is completely exposed and very dangerous, if I may say. I mean, no easy portions beyond camp one on Ama Dablam.
It's all like rock climbing.
Mixed, yes, sir. Rock, ice, snow, and there's Mushroom Ridge as well, which is icy and pretty narrow. You must have seen all those reels. So
I didn't much explore about Ama Dablam. I want to experience myself. So,
yes, of course.
but I saw that mountain from all different directions. from Chola side, from Jongla side, and then from this from the top of Kadpa. This one, Kongmala. It's beautiful.
Kongmala, yes.
It's
beautiful.
huge. It's the glaciers come from all the way, and then just they go on.
And from every angle, she looks so beautiful.
Do you know the mountains around, all the names of the mountains of that part?
From the summit? I know Everest and Lhotse are pretty identifiable, and Makalu, you can see Makalu from there, and pretty identifiable because of the first step of Makalu La. That is pretty distinguishable feature of the mountain Makalu. But I couldn't identify Choyu. But they say on a clear weather you can see Choyu and Kanchenjunga as well. But to be honest, I couldn't identify them. But Everest, Lhotse, Nupse, and Makalu you can see pretty well, and Pumori as well. Pumori.
And what happened on Nun?
So from day one it was raining at low altitudes, and up above it continued snowing. And then we had a short good weather window of 2-3 days. So we decided to do our acclimatization rotation there and then push for the summit. So we went to camp one, just tagged camp one, and then came back to the base camp. But then again, 3 days of non-stop snowing. So, and we were a little concerned because after snowing, as you know, if there is not 1 or 2 days of complete sunlight, so there is less time or less probability for the snow to settle in, and more risk of avalanches. So we had to wait out in the base camp for those 3 days, and after that anyways we had to push for the summit. So we reached camp 1, stayed there, and then because from camp 1 to camp 2 is pretty long, and there's a big glacier walk in between, very boring, very long walk. So we couldn't actually reach camp 1. We could make it only to lower, we couldn't reach camp 2. We could only make it to lower camp 2, which is at 5,800. And the routes were still not fixed. So our Sherpa guides went ahead. Rigzin sir was there, Nim Dorjidai was there. So they went ahead to fix the route, and they were a day ahead of us because of course they were fixing. But then I think they just before camp 3, they faced a big crevasse, and there was soft snow. So it wasn't safe, 100% safe. and they had and what they told me, they had never seen such a big crevasse unknown, and that is why there is not a tradition of carrying ladders with them, because there are no crevasses generally speaking, but that year there was, and we had no ladder with ourselves. And add to that that the snow conditions weren't less than safe or less than ideal, so they took a decision of turning back, and we just obliged, because there's no way you can question the experts. If they say we turn back, we have to turn back, then we turn back. So that is why we turned back.
You didn't experience altitude sickness, headache.
No, no headache. Yes, headache. I always have headaches, always. And that is the very reason this year on Ama Dablam, I mean, before going to the base camp, I went ahead. I didn't, from Pangboche, I didn't take a right turn to the base camp. I went ahead to Dungboche, spent one night. I went to Chukung, spent one night. Next day, I went to Chukungri. I spent another night in Chukung. So I was, Chukungri is around 5,550 meters. So I was pretty well acclimatized by the time I reached base camp. And this year, no problems at all. No problems.
Yeah. Homework, na?
Yes. Because I understand now that my body takes a little longer to acclimatize. So that is why I went off route. I mean, not off route. I took a detour and I went to Chukung, spent there 2 extra nights, and then I came back to base camp, all prepared. And from base camp, no headaches, no problems.
What preparation you did this time? Extra preparation.
Nothing extra as such, the same cardio. I mostly train cardio in the gym, and every day I do cardio first and then a little bit of weight training with targeting only one particular muscle group, but cardio necessarily every day. But this time what I did was, earlier I used to work out in a very basic gym. Even the treadmill was pretty bad, to say the least. So this time I joined a better one. I mean, that's the best in our locality. So it had, I mean, state-of-the-art machinery. So there was a stairmaster. So I used to carry my rucksack. There were sandbags of 10 kilos and a 3 kilo medicine ball. So I used to put in a 10 kilo sandbag and then a 3 kilo medicine ball. So that made it 13 kilos. And I used to, climb the stairs or use the stairmasters with my rucksack. And with that, I also had a heavy shoe, which was around roughly 900 grams each, to simulate the big boots in the mountain. So with the heavy boots and with the rucksack, I trained. That's how I trained for cardio. And of course, treadmill running and stretching and weight training, all the basics. That's it.
So upper body strength.
Yes.
So how many pull-ups you can do?
At my best, I can do 15. That's the highest I've done. But right now, 10, 11, because after coming back, I have been, relaxing a lot.
Yeah, 15 pull-ups is not a joke. 15 proper
15
pull-ups.
15 proper pull-ups is my best. But on a normal and on an average day, I could do 10 to 12. But then Tim is, I think you of course know about Tim. You have met him. You have trekked and climbed together. So I see him. He just I think he can manage 20 or even more pull-ups. And even
He
after
can
that,
do single hand pull-ups, man, with both hands.
and then the front lever as well.
The front.
The
Come
front
on.
lever. And even after what happened with him on Annapurna, he's back to it again as if nothing happened. So he's such a big inspiration. I mean, I know I cannot reach his level, but I can always strive to and close the gap. No matter about how little, it is a win for me anyways. So people like Tim, and there are lots others. I see a lot of people, including you, sir. I would like to tell whoever is watching this about you as well. You train very hard. You have finished circumventing the Indian borders on a cycle, which is a very difficult task, I think. And now, as we were speaking last time, clocking 100 kilometers is nothing for you. Right now, you can get out of your home and cycle for 100 kilometers. I cannot do that. So you are also an inspiration.
Not The best is yet to come. Still,
Yes,
lot of
yes.
training needs to be done. It's just it's a.
But I follow your journey. So yeah.
So I'll tell you one thing: how I train for weight training, altitude training. First, I started with 22 kilos, and
22,
I went up to 45 kilograms on the backpack. 45 maximum.
45, and
Yeah.
hill ascent. I mean, steep or
This ground is a combination of sand, hard soil, sand, and then there is a small hill for army. People who train for
preparation.
preparation, army preparation, who want to clear physical. So
Okay.
there, first I'll start with 22 kilos. So the training session is like this: 400 meters track, 2 rounds of cardio running, and then backpack 22 kilos
Weighted,
first round.
weighted
That
backpack.
that one round, and then
And you walk. And you walk.
walk, not possible, running impossible.
Ah, yeah.
22 kilos is too much, man. And then
And you,
just drop it and run immediately for 2 rounds again,
so that
and then
is high
again
intensity. I mean, high
40
intensity,
total.
and then again you are coming back to low steady state, but then with a heavy backpack.
Yeah.
So
So
your heart is
that
always
is.
pumping.
Your heart is always pumping, and then it is like really tiring. I did like that many times. That day will be 46 rounds of total.
46 into 400 meters.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
2 rounds of running and then 1 round of walking with weights. So this actually happens now. When if we go for trekking or even for climbing, the maximum weight of the backpack will be 13, 14. I don't carry more than that. 13 kilos, 14 kilos maximum. Above that, it's difficult. Why
That is
that
why
training?
if we train with if we train with a heavier backpack at sea level, so maybe that will condition us a little bit for high altitudes.
That actually helped in my cycling journey, because I every day 120, 140 kilometers, 180 kilometers also. There were many days
180.
180 kilometers. Yes. Did you ever feel all these three failed attempts, one extra push could have made the difference, or it's always clear, like when it is time to stop for you?
So yes, sir, the natural instinct is always, to be able to keep climbing higher and higher. In all the three occasions, Ama Dablam in 2020, Manaslu in 2022, and Nun in 2023. Physically, I was 100%, but I always believe that the people I climb with, they are much more experienced than I am, and my safety is their topmost priority. So when they say to turn around, I have never, in all those three occasions, I have never, I mean, in Manaslu, it was my own decision, but the other two occasions, in Ama Dablam and in Nun, I did not question them for once. Because I think that is foolishness to question someone who has much more experience than you. Physically, I was 100%. There was no problems, no altitude sickness when I turned around in all those three expeditions. But again, in retrospect, I do not regret them because I have all my 10 fingers. I mean, 20 fingers, 10 in the hand and 10 at the feet, and I'm alive. So, no regrets. But थोड़ा disappointment तो रहता है, especially on Manaslu, because I slept so well at 6,800 meters. But I'm okay.
And those avalanches, that season, Manaslu didn't allow
It
anybody to
was
climb. Like, it was
pretty
terrible,
bad.
no?
It
Really.
was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. So very, very bad season. But it's a beautiful mountain. I would love to go back. And till Camp 3, not really very difficult. And of course, whom am I talking to? You have summited Manaslu, so you know a lot better than me. So till Camp 3, I've reached Camp 3, and till Camp 3, I did not find it to be very difficult, but technically, Camp 1 to Camp 2 was a little, I mean, it was challenging.
The camp 1 to camp 2, the ice fall,
Yes, yes,
negotiating that ice fall is difficult.
yes, it's
It is
difficult.
ever changing, na? Next year will be
Yes,
different, next
and
year will
big,
be different.
big towers and seracs hanging
Yeah, yeah.
anytime they can collapse, and
Then
then
collapse. It's a
you're gone.
dangerous ice fall traverse, actually. But after that also, after Camp 3 also, going to Camp 3 itself, there are many bridges. We have snow bridges. There are like really scary snow bridges. And then
Exposed, yes.
further, yeah, further there is an overhang. Go under it and then go up, again down a little, again go up. It is like never ending steep ascent, man. And then it's like you like by before you reach close to the Camp 4, you're completely drained and then you get angry.
Because there's a big wall which you
Yeah,
can see from Camp 3,
it's a big wall. You
but I
climb the
haven't
wall first,
climbed it.
actually.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's
But
that's
sir, Camp
8,000 meter
4,
mount.
Camp 4, it's in a flat place,
Camp
flat
4
area,
is
Camp 4.
it's a kind of coal. It's a
Okay.
coal. It's a little wide space. Very beautiful, nice. On a good day with good weather, you can really enjoy that.
Yes, I remember talking to you before leaving for Manaslu, and you told me that you slept really well, no headaches,
No.
nothing. But one, not a very good news is Nepal, that the Nepal government has recently increased the permit fees of almost all the mountains, and Manaslu, they made it $3,000 now, which is really steep. $3,000 just for the permit for Manaslu, because they know Manaslu is a popular mountain, and most people prefer it to be their first 8,000er. So, and they just want to make money out of it. So,
Yeah.
but 3,000, I don't know. I was just planning for Manaslu, but after I got to know about the government increasing the permit fee to 3,000 now, and again add to that all the logistical costs, the Sherpa costs, the insurance, and the money that the agencies have to make. So it will become pretty expensive. So I don't know, maybe. So I'll have to maybe postpone it by a year or two and save money. But I
See,
want to
that
go back to, honestly.
yeah, that's what if the mountain calls, you will go. We'll see how it, we don't know what is tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And how is 8K? What is your connection with 8K expeditions?
So I'm very close to Lakpadai. He was in Pioneer Expeditions. So in 2020, I went with Pioneer, and before actually reaching Nepal, I was in touch with Lakpadai. So I found him to be very, very good human being, very honest, very open, and he's an expert climber himself, and he was also in the rescue team of Everest quite a few times, and he has uh, very very high altitude rescues under his belt. So after Ama Dablam in 2020, although I couldn't summit, my experience was extremely good with him. Very professional, very humble, very honest, very open. So my connection is really with Lakpa Dai, and I mean, so in a way with 8K, but I am loyal to him. So I do not shy away from saying that suppose tomorrow he opens a new agency, I will go with him. So it's my loyalty towards Lakpa Dai. So, and all thanks to him that it was possible. Otherwise, he made it possible. Ama Dablam, the second attempt, and he also gave me a completely free hand, because in October, we have our Durga Pujas here, which is our main festival in West Bengal, especially in Kolkata. So I was talking to him कि दाई कब आना है, पहले आना है, during the pujas आना है या बाद में आना है, because nowadays in Ama Dablam, as you may have noticed, it starts from beginning October and it runs until late December. So they push it until winter. So there are also winter expeditions on Ama Dablam going on. So Lakpadai told me it completely you have a free hand in deciding this. आपको जब आना है आओ, पहले आना है, पूजा में आना है या पूजा के बाद आना है, late into the winter. So kind of him, so generous. He I mean he could have done without this, but he did it for me, I believe. So, and I'm so thankful and ever grateful to him.
And this weather forecast, so because of your experience, so the weather forecast from the websites, is the technology always right?
It can never be 100% right. sir. So it is just an indicator and gives you a rough estimate about how the weather will unfold in the coming days. And it is always changing. Suppose if I'm looking for tomorrow or day after tomorrow, then the probability of the weather forecast getting or coming into effect is higher. But if I'm seeing a weather forecast for 7 days ahead from now, so then it can change anytime after 2 or 3 days. So in 2020, there were not a lot of teams on Ama Dablam, and we had to depend on this website. If I'm correct, it's Mountain Forecast. So it said bad weather, but we already had lost a few days because of Corona, and we had to be quarantined in Kathmandu. So we decided to go anyway, and then actually bad weather hit us, so we turned around. So it's pretty accurate, but it's not always 100%. And as you know, in mountains, weather can change with the blink of an eye.
And then how much is risky climbing Ama Dablam?
It is risky and also safe at the same time, because since we use the commercial route and we use fixed ropes, and it is properly anchored at every significant distances, and at dangerous and exposed sections, we use double safety, one safety carabiner and another carabiner at the end of the Jumar. So we use two safety carabiners on the fixed rope for those really exposed sections. But having said that, because my style is, before going for any expedition, I do a lot of research, and whatever articles I can find on the internet, I go through them. So what I've read is, in the past on Ama Dablam, it has happened that people, including the anchor, I mean the anchor to which people were fixed, including the anchor came off and people have fallen down. So I knew about this. So it is dangerous. But then nowadays we have professional teams. Each year a new team gets the responsibility of fixing ropes, and a brand new rope is fixed. And this is also a problem because Ama Dablam has a lot of ropes. It is a spider's web. So if you're not climbing with a professional Sherpa, if you're climbing alone, it is difficult to make out which rope is the correct rope, is the brand new rope, and it is going till the summit, especially when you're coming down, which does not suddenly end, and which is, I mean, completely, it'll take you to the next anchor and then to the next anchor on a lot of spots on Ama Dablam. There are a lot of old ropes which needs to be cleared, I think.
Your transformation. I saw your transformation from a chubby,
From
fat,
being obese.
to the proper bodybuilder. So
Yes.
what would have happened if you are still like that?
Oh, the Chubby Kid.
Did you ever thought of it?
No, and actually mountains helped me, to transform my life, because I remember I was in the Annapurna circuit trek. So I've never had climbing up. So climbing up is not a difficult thing for me. I may be slow, but I'll get there, I know. And I've always had a problem on coming down. I still have. So on Annapurna circuit, Thorangla, as you know, is the highest point, and from there we descend to Muktinath, which is a very steep descent. So that time, I think that was in 2017. So I was 90 kilos, 95 kilos, and with a 10 kilo backpack, I was over 100 kgs. So we were descending from Thorongla to Muktinath, and I really had this very bad experience of pain in my knees. So, and I thought I will not be able to make it to Muktinath. I will have to stop midway and don't know how, but spend the night there. But somehow I managed. I slowly went down. So it was very late in the evening that I reached Muktinath. And that day I decided that if I want to keep coming back to the mountains, I need to change this lifestyle. And that is where this spark inside me happened, that I can either choose between this bad lifestyle, or I can choose, the mountains or coming back to the mountains. And then from there was no looking back. So from there I started training, and then I went to EBC and I did Island Peak, and from there was no looking back. So in a way, mountains helped me to transform.
What is the diet now? So you also follow intermittent fasting also, na? How this intermittent fasting works?
Okay, my own cycle, I'll tell you. So I came to know about intermittent fasting from a YouTube video. That is the YouTuber is a Dr. Eric Berg. I think he's from the USA. So and then I found it. He's a doctor himself. So I found it very scientific. There's a complete playlist on intermittent fasting, and he has over 300 videos. So I started watching it, and slowly I started implementing it in my lifestyle. And from there, what I learned is intermittent fasting is not a diet. It is a pattern of eating. Out of the 24 hours, there is a window where you eat, and the remaining hours you are in a fasted state. So I started with 16 and 8. 16 hours I used to fast, and in between those 8 hours I used to eat. And not that, I mean, during that eating window, I mean, we cannot be having unhealthy foods. We cannot be eating junk, or I mean, street food or fast food for that matter. You need to be eating healthy during those eating hours, and the remaining 16 hours I used to fast. And now that I have been doing this for a while, for 5-6 years, without any side effects, right now I do one meal a day mostly. That is, I have only one meal. For example, today the last meal I took was at 2:30 in the afternoon. So I haven't eaten anything after that, only water. And the next meal I'll take is in my office again in the afternoon around 12:30 or 1. So right now I do 22 hours of fasting and 2-3 hours of eating window, and that meal is very heavy. I mean, heavy in proteins and healthy carbs, all natural, not packaged food. Only positive results, no side effects. And to add to that, I always work out in a fasted state. For example, most probably I'm planning to go to the gym tomorrow early in the morning. So since I've eaten today at 2:30, if I hit the gym tomorrow, let's say at 6:30, so how much is that? That is 2, and that is almost 16 hours of fasting. 2 to 2 is 12 hours, and 2 plus 4 is 6:30. 16 hours of fasting. So I will hit the gym after having fasted for 16 hours. And a lot of people to whom I talk to in the gym, I share my diet and all this. So they ask me, don't you feel tired, and don't you feel deprived of energy, and how can you run so much? But honestly, I don't feel the lack of it. To the contrary, I'm energized throughout the day. And I think it is your body that will learn to adapt, and we just need to change our habits, and our body will eventually adapt. We just need to be disciplined. So
What is the meal plate? What is the platter that you eat?
okay, so ideally to break the fast, it is said you should break it with protein. So I take 2 boiled eggs from home, and today I had mutton stew. Usually I take chicken stew without oil. Just I can cook it myself. Only butter, chicken, and some vegetables. So I had mutton stew. I had 2 eggs, and then I had a fruit salad. Just I don't cut it from my home and take it to the office. There's a fruit vendor outside my office. I get it from there fresh. And then again, outside my office, I have another, another pair of boiled eggs. So in total, 4 eggs, mutton stew, fruit salad, and then a not so good thing, I have a weakness for biscuits, which is not a very good thing. So and then today I had biscuits, but yesterday it was completely clean yesterday, but today I had to give in to the temptation of biscuits. So yeah.
Guilty pleasures, huh?
Yes, because now that there's nothing upcoming in the recent future, so
So
the
no
idea is
supplements.
no supplements, no,
Yeah.
all natural. All my protein is from natural sources: egg, paneer, fish, and chicken or mutton. So ideally, sir, what I would suggest is whoever is interested in doing this, especially if you want to lose fat, so we should increase our protein intakes, reduce, absolutely minimize, not reduce, minimize carbs, and eliminate sugar and packaged food from our lifestyle. Anything which is packaged is not good. This is the bottom line. Anything, it's not good. If it is packaged, if it has a shelf life, it is not good. It cannot be good. So eliminate those things, and maybe, not maybe, we should also include healthy fats, maybe almonds, other sources of fat as well. Some butter. Butter is always good. Ghee. But right now I'm on a relaxed diet and I'm relishing the success. And I've gained also 6-7 kilos.
When was the summit date? Or
Ama Dablam?
date of the summit? Ama Dablam.
21st October. 21st October
Morning.
around 6:45 in the morning.
How long was the summit push?
So since we pushed from Camp 3, it was not very long. As I said, if you reach Camp 3, it is almost given that you'll summit. So it took me, I think we left at, it was 3 by the time we left. So just under 4 hours. 3, 6:45. So 3 hours, 45 minutes or 4 hours. But I have friends who climb really fast, and I would like to name him also, Shamin. I met him this year. He's an Indian based in Singapore. So very low key, very low key. He has climbed Everest. He has climbed Ama Dablam, and I think he attempted Lhotse also. He was trying to climb Lhotse, but something did not plan out as he wanted it to be, so he couldn't go and attempt Lhotse. But very low key, very strong, and similarly, like you, I often get to him for tips and fitness advice, and anything related to the mountains, I go to him. Shamin, you, Tim, these are the guys, and then Kuntal sir as well.
The vegan climber, right? The vegan Everest.
Yes, Kuntal sir. I met him this time, and Shamin is also vegan. So we both, both me and Shamin, we met Kuntal sir for the first time in Tamil this time. Guess where? At a vegan cafe. Because both of them are vegan.
I went to that vegan cafe with Anurag Nallavelli.
Oh, he's also a vegan, no?
I know vegan
This a
word from Anurag only. Before that, I'm a vegetarian, but I never accepted vegan as at least, it's a like a part
as a way of life.
this thing. I never accepted veganism actually. But after
But you're
talking
vegetarian.
to Anurag,
I didn't know that, sir.
yeah, I'm a
So you
I'm
don't
a
have egg
lifelong
and
vegetarian. I
meat?
never touched meat. I used to eat
Oh,
eggs, but now I stopped that one also.
okay. So if I may ask, then your protein sources, paneer,
I
tofu.
don't eat paneer. I don't like it initially. Now I am liking it, but before I used to. I don't eat anything outside. Normal
Only
dal,
home
chawal,
cooked.
only
Okay.
home cooked. That too, no restrictions. I don't stop with small meals. Full.
So you take supplements, protein
But the thing
supplements
is,
with.
yeah, the portion of rice is very less. Less
Oh,
rice, more this thing. But from last
more veg.
2 months, I'm not following anything.
So you take protein
Yeah,
supplements?
you're asking something?
Protein supplements?
No, I don't use anything. I have a very bad opinion about whey protein stuff.
But
I don't trust them. First thing,
okay, same here. I do not know how they taste even. I have never used it in my body. Never.
I don't trust whey proteins. I never tap, and then they are expensive. So I thought like, why expensive stuff? I don't want.
Yeah.
But there is. It's not like just simply eat normal home food. There is a pattern. It's not like simply eat daily breakfast. Lot of idli, those are not like that. So for preparation, there is a type of food pattern to increase the blood oxygen. I will use a lot of
Yes.
beetroot, lemon, and then ginger combination. It's a very I like it, but the taste it is not
Very
good.
bad.
Very bad. All raw vegetables, crushed them and then made juice out of it. And then I personally like karela a lot, so I boil them and then put some turmeric and then salt and then eat directly.
Wow. I also
So
like. I like.
for Manaslu, the diet was like this for 6 months. Only one particular diet: afternoons rice, dal, and then karela for 6 months.
For 6 months.
That yeah, that 2021 I lived very disciplined life in terms of food for 6 months,
Wow.
from around March to September. No, night times dinner I'll have. There is healthy dosa that my partner will also cook for me. Sometimes I'll cook with a lot of vegetables. Even if I eat upma in the night, the upma will have less suji and then more of aloo, carrot, tomato, capsicum, beetroot, all mix. It is a very reddish color, broccoli, like that. Even those vegetables are not fully completely boiled. They are like 70% cooked,
Okay.
60-70%. And I enjoy eating with
But
chopsticks,
I
so
didn't
I
know
need
you
more
were
veg.
vegetarian, sir. I didn't know. Even we have met, but
And
I don't think we went to any restaurant. I think we went to a juice center.
yeah, that Subhash Cafe. What is that?
Yes.
The
Paramount.
I
Paramount
forgot
juice.
the
Paramount.
name.
Paramount.
Paramount Cafe. We couldn't go to the Indian coffee house, but we went to the
Yes.
Paramount Cafe. Incredible, Surjo. I really, actually, I am more inspired by you. You always say you'll take tips from
No,
me,
sir.
but
No, sir. It's
it is vice versa. What I had actually, when I saw you, so the transformation actually inspired me. I never tried making that bodybuilding. I want to be strong, but I never tried to build that muscle and then shape it out. But I am inspired by your dedication, your determination, and that never giving up attitude. And how smile, I mean, you're always smile and open hearted. And I really enjoy
thank
talking to
you.
you. So, so this is what I want to say, and it's really incredible, and I am happy and more than happy to see you. The first summit finally happened, and
Thank
it's
you.
not the race for the summit that you said, right? It's not the race. You came back home without even a scratch on your fingertip.
And that's the goal every time. That is the goal. Summit is not the goal.
Yes.
My wife says, বেঙ্গলিতে বলে যে তোকে যেভাবে পাঠাচ্ছি ওভাবে দরকার. I'll translate. I want you back the same way I sent you. So that's the
Yes.
primary goal, to come back alive 100%, especially now that I have my 3-year-old son Leo. And then summit anyways is a bonus. We make friendships that will last forever. See, I met you because of the mountains, and now I know you, and we are. I would like to believe we are close friends, and not because of I submitted or I couldn't submit, because we share the same passion for the mountains, and I think it is a very positive place, sir. Very positive place, the mountains. Unlike the city where we live in, all the hustle and bustle, the rush. But in mountains, it is always like what I felt is, in city we are always trying to pull the other one down and get ahead of him. But in the mountains, no, no, acha, pehle aap jaiye. No, 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 pehle aap jaiye. It's like that. I love this.
Do you miss them?
Yes, and I cannot wait to go back. But let's see how soon or how later that will happen. But that will happen. Maybe not a big
Happen.
8,000er, but then maybe a small 6,000er. But climbing is important, not the altitude. And hopefully, I want to climb with you someday. Maybe we climb
Yeah.
in India or in
I'll
Nepal.
tell you
Maybe.
one. I'll share the dream trekking route that I want to do. There is this place from Lukla. We will take a detour, another route to Ampul Pass, which is
Ambul Aksha
20,000 feet.
Pass, I've heard, yes. That is 5,000
That
plus.
one,
Difficult.
yeah. Mm. No, see, almost 6,000, 5,900
Us-
meters.
Wow.
That is there with me. That is, I'm traveling with that since 6-7 years. And then otherwise, I want to start I want to do the roll walling and then enter Thame from roll walling side,
Roll wall.
and then Renjo, and then Gokyo. So always going to Gokyo, crossing Chola, and then reaching Gorakshep, and then climbing Kalapattar. All that particular section of 3-4 days is, even after doing multiple times, still it's like very excited to
Okay,
go
so
there.
so sir, you have been to Gokyo multiple times. The small village
Six
Gokyo.
times.
Six
Six
times.
times.
And I haven't been to Gokyo, but I want to go there.
And then finally, one last question. What next?
In all probability, sir, 2025 will be a sabbatical because of, I don't know if I can manage to arrange the money. I'm I will try to keep my body ready physically, but if the financial demands are met, then probably Manaslu again. I would like to reattempt it because somewhere I'll share this, and I don't know. A lot of people may think that by uttering these things, you may jinx it, but I say, see, the no summit started to happen from Ama Dablam. So Ama Dablam no summit, Manaslu no summit, no summit, and then again. So maybe I would like to believe that the summit series also has started now. So maybe after Ama Dablam, if I go to Manaslu, I'll get a summit, and then maybe if I go to Nun, then I'll get a summit. So maybe that'll complete the cycle. So if I can arrange the money, then definitely Manaslu. If not, then maybe some 6,000er in India or Nepal.
So
Thank you.
congratulations and wish you all the very best.
Thank you,
Hopefully,
sir.
I'll meet you again in Kolkata this year. I have plans to come back
Please,
there.
please come and take some extra days.
Yeah,
And also, one
sure
last
then.
thing from my side. You were also planning to climb Ama Dablam with Tembadai. So I will strongly suggest, sir, Ama is a very beautiful experience. I mean, if given an opportunity, suppose, let's say hypothetically, if someone sponsors my entire expedition, I will again love to climb Ama Dablam. Amazing. It is so beautiful and so technical. It challenges you all. You're 24/7 challenged from Camp 1. So beautiful. And one last thing, sorry to keep it extending. In
Yeah, yeah.
2020, since we pushed for the summit from Camp 2, so most of the climb was in the dark, so I couldn't see. But this time, we knew we had Camp 3 pitched, so we were climbing during the day, and it is so beautiful, sir. It is dangerous and beautiful at the same time. So I will strongly suggest you to climb, and I'm sure maybe you'll attempt it one day, and not only attempt, you'll climb it one day, and then maybe you will maybe resonate with these words, how beautiful it is. That's my favorite. Ama Dablam is my favorite mountain.
Someday, that mountain
Yeah.
call should happen. Nothing in our hands.
Yes, sir.